If you listen to the coverage of how the four men's majors are allowing LIV golfers to compete in the Masters, PGA Championship, US Open, and Open Championship, you might get the impression that the vast majority of LIV players will be teeing it up in these tournaments. However, this is not the case. Well, not so fast. Players won't be barred from competing at the Augusta National, Oak Hill Country Club, Los Angeles Country Club, or Royal Liverpool in 2019. But getting into the majors will be a different story. You can see that a good number of LIV golfers have already secured their spots in the four tournaments, according to a clever little chart that was provided on Twitter by @Rebobs. Notwithstanding this, at least as of the present moment, that number is far lower than it was a year ago. During the previous year, athletes that competed on the LIV circuit participated in a total of 116 main starts. Only 46 places for the 2023 season have been claimed by LIV players as of right now. When those exemptions are triggered later in the year, according to the chart, 15 extra appearances are anticipated to be based on the golfer's projected placement in the official World Golf Ranking. This will occur when those exemptions are triggered. It would bring the grand amount up to 61, which is somewhat more than half the number of the significant appearances that the current LIV group made in the previous year. Casey and Marc Leishman are two of the most notable victims of this tragedy. Both of them have strong records in majors and took part in all four of them in the previous year, but they are not qualified for any of them in 2023 at this time. Westwood, who is widely considered to be the best player, who has never won a major championship, played in 3 of the 4 majors in 2022, but is likely to sit this one out. The decline can be explained in a basic manner. The official World Golf Ranking wins on the PGA Tour, which gets you into the Masters, PGA, and maybe the US Open. And good finishes in majors are the 3 most likely ways to get an exemption into one of golf's 4 major championships. The chances of qualifying for major championships are only gonna continue to decrease as long as LIV tournaments do not receive any OWGR points and as long as those who participate in LIV golf are barred from competing on the PGA Tour. To compete in the Masters and the Open Championship, you need to be ranked in the top 50 in the OWGR. The top 60 players in the US Open, because their special exemptions are likely to contain the top 100 players. The PGA offers the most likely route that's also the easiest. This is the reason why players like Patrick Reed and Louis Oosthuizen are currently only good for 2 majors in 2023, while Bubba Watson and Henrik Stenson are only good for 1 major in that same year. Those players in the tournament who have recently won majors don't have to worry as much about their game going into the final round. As a result of their victories, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, and Cam Smith are all exempt from competing in any of the 4 tournaments. The only other player who is currently exempt from 3 of the 4 majors is the Jack and Neyman. He is likely to get into the 4th, the PGA Championship. If he stays within the top 100 in the world ranking, which is likely to happen given that he is currently 61st, the privileged 5 are the only players who are currently exempt from all of the 4 majors. Suffice it to say that the organizations that operate the 4 men's majors have managed to keep the credibility of their qualifying procedures intact and have been successful in securing, for the most part, the best fields that are conceivable. LIV players can continue to compete in the major championships, or they can try to qualify for the US Open and Open Championship even if they are not eligible for those tournaments. But in the absence of a significant change in the criteria for qualifying for those tournaments, it will only become increasingly difficult to do so. After the PGA of America announced its eligibility requirements for the 2023 PGA Championship yesterday, LIV golf players will be able to compete at all 4 men's majors this year, according to the Joe Bill of the Golf Digest. This is despite past signals about the LIV defectors possibly being prohibited from competing in the tournament, Bell said. Up until yesterday, the bylaws of the championship required players to be PGA of America members to play in the PGA Championship. This is a status that players obtain through their membership on the PGA Tour, which is no longer the case. In a statement made 2 years ago, the CEO of the PGA of America, Seth Waugh, stated that individuals who were banned or suspended by the circuit would certainly lose their PGA of America rights, keeping them out of the PGA Championship and Ryder Cup. At the Southern Hills event in May of 2017, Waugh stated that such sentiments still stand. But now previous PGA Championship winners who have moved on to LIV will receive an invite to this year's PGA, along with the winners of the other major championships over the past 5 years and winners of the Players' Championship over the past 3 years. This change was made in response to the recent merger between the PGA and the LIV. Both Mito Pereira and Brendan Steele, who recently signed with the LIV, will likewise be in the field because they placed in the top 15 at the previous year's tournament. This action comes a day after the R&A announced the Open Championship will remain open to LIV golf members, as the previous sentence states. Golf Digest reported on February 22 that both Augusta National and the USGA had previously declared that their respective championships for 2023 will remain open to LIV golf. Waugh acknowledged the continuing PGA Tour versus LIV Golf Division, as reported by Gabriel Herzig of SI. Nonetheless, Waugh stressed that the PGA Championship's purpose is to put on a competitive tournament with an adequately strong field, while stated that it's unfortunate that the current division in the professional game, which is not healthy for the sport or the future of the game. We're keeping our fingers crossed that a solution will be found very soon. How was the video? Did you enjoy it? Tell us in the comment section below and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates.